Good morning, students. Myself, Dr. Pratiksha Kokate, Professor and Head, Department of Botany, Sri Shivaji Arts, Commerce and Science College, Akula. So, today we will deal with the topic that is anatomy of monocot root. Now, you all know what are the monocot plants. So, the monocotyledonous plants I have shown in this figure, these are generally the grasses, and the plant which arises from the seed is generally the having only one cotyledon. Now, when the seed undergoes germination, it gives rise first of all the radicle, and the radicle further grows into the structure or organ that is called as the root. So, in case of the monocot plants, the root system is typically adventitious types, or we can also call them as a fibrous type of root system. When we study for the anatomical structure, it is nothing but the study of internal structure. When you have to study the internal structure, you have to cut that particular organ into various sections in a various planes. So when we cut the root of the monocot in a transverse section, the outline of the monocot root is circular, and it is broadly divided into the three parts. The first one, that is the outermost one, is the epiblema. We also call it as the pyliferous layer. Second one is the cortical region, that is cortex, and third one is the stellar region, which is also called as the stele. Now the stele is again further divided into or consists of endodermis, that is the outermost layer. Then below endodermis is pericycle. Then the vascular bundles are present, which consist of the vascular tissues, that is xylem and phloem, and in the center there is the presence of pith. Now we will see in detail the structure of each and every part of the root. So the outermost layer is the epiblema or pyliferous layer, which is having the cells which are thin walled, and it is consisting a single layer. The outer wall of these cells, they extends into the fibrous structure, which is called as the root hair, which is unicellular in nature, and its function is to absorb water and the solute particles from the soil. In case of the monocot root, the cuticle, that is the thickening which is present on the epiblema, and the small openings which are generally present on the epidermal layer, they are totally absent. The root hairs which are present on the outermost surface of the monocot root increases the water absorbing surface of the root. So this epiblema is also called as the rhizodermis. Then the next part is the cortical region. You can see in this diagrammatic figure, the epiblema is the outermost region, and epiblema is then further followed by the dotted portion, which is known as the cortex. What the cortex consists of? It is generally the multi-layered structure having the many layers of thin walled cells. These thin walled cells are nothing but the parenchymatous cells, which are the simple tissues. These cells, they also consist of number of intercellular spaces in it. And what is the function of that cortical region? The cortical region is having the function to store the food material in it. So next one, we will see the stele. Stele is the central portion of the root, which consists of the endodermis, which is the outermost layer. In this figure, I have shown you detailed structure of, that is the cellular details of the monocot root. You can see the endodermis is the outermost layer in the stellar portion, and it is present inner to the cortical region. It is consisting of the cells which are barrel shaped in their shape, and they are having the thickenings. Due to the presence of these radial thickenings, the cells of the endodermis, they become thickened. They will become thickened due to the presence of Casparian strips on it. So, this Casparian strips like structure or the thickened structure which is produced on the walls of the endodermis is due to the deposition of the chemical material that is called as the suberin. Now, this endodermal layer is particularly having the function to control, to help the movement of water from the cortical region to the inner side of the cell, inner side of the still, that is towards the xylem portion. So, in the endodermal region there are some cells which are present without the Casparian strips, and they are the thin walled cells. Those cells are called as the passage cells, and through this passage cell only the water gets entry inside the stellar region. These passage cells, they are generally having their position, their location just against the protoxylem element. The water enters through this passage cell inside the root, and the root then translocates the water in an upward direction. The next part of the still is the pericycle. Pericycle is the layer which is circular in its outline, and they consist of the small and thin walled cells. The cells of the protoplasm are having the characteristic to have the abundant protoplasm in it. They, in some cases, they also have the function to produce the lateral roots. Now, next tissue is the conjunctive tissue, in which the vascular bundles, they are present. The conjunctive tissue consists of the simple parenchymatous cells, and these parenchymatous cells of the conjunctive tissue, they are present in between the two vascular bundles which are present in the central portion. So, the vascular bundles, they are arranged in a ring. The vascular bundles, they are many in number, so we call them as a polyarch condition. They are having the radial type, that is the xylem and phloem, they are present in an equal number, and they are present on the different radii. They are not present in the same bundle, they are present on the different radius, hence we call them as a radial type of vascular bundles. And as their number is many, so we call it as a polyarch type of vascular bundles. So, number of xylem and phloem, that varies according to species and species, but if the xylem bundles, they are 5 in number, the phloem bundles, they are also 5 in number, and they are present in the conjunctive tissue in an alternate manner or on the alternate radii. Xylem in this case is exarch in condition. Exarch means the protoxylem towards the pericycle, that is the outer portion, outer side, and metaxylem towards the center. Then phloem consists of the sieve tubes, companion cells, and phloem parenchyma. While you all know the conjunctive tissue is present in between the xylem and phloem. Now, in the center there is the presence of pith portion, which is placed centrally, and it is very well developed, consists of again the parenchymatous cells, which are thin walled cells. Sometimes, very few times, lignified thick walled cells may be present in the pith region. So, thank you. With this we conclude this topic. Thanks once again.